Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Let's take another look at Bitcoin, see where we're at here for the day. 94,500. We saw a nice little pump there last night when Asian markets opened, pushed up to this 95.5 mark and effectively stall out there. So 95,500 appears to be a double top and or just the local resistance. So know that that exists. We also have a rising type of wedge pattern. They generally do typically break to the downside. So just be mindful of that as well. I'm expecting the price pull back a little bit. So that's why we do have a couple of shorts open, one with ETH, another with Solana. So just kind of give you some heads up on kind of where my mind is at essentially. Now, my mind's been this way for roughly about 3 or 4 trading days. So keep in mind, I was a little early to the party. There's no doubt about it. But at this point, it does feel like outside of the $96,000, $97,000 liquidation range above us, there's a decent amount of resistance and likelihood of the price pulling back here for Bitcoin. So just a heads up on that. Now, when it comes to liquidation, 97 to 96,000 is that local range. We can also see in the last 7 days, there's a tremendous amount more longs than shorts kind of spread out between 90 to 92,500. So that's kind of that local bottom. So overall, this doesn't tell us too much. It does imply that we may see one more candle wake up before the price pulls back, but we've also got a power of three, reverse power of three rather, on the price action for the price action to likely pull back here soon for a manipulative wave down. Now, there's a lot of different schools of thought here, but if we look at the liquidation delta, we were at the highest point leading into this this push at about 25 to 35 billion in liquidation long delta. Ever since then, this is very reassuring, very nice to see, we can see the highest point we were at just a couple of hours ago was 4 billion. So the truth is we are pulling back. A lot less longs are in the market. They finally secured profits and or closed their trades. And at this point, it seems more likely we're going to see a reversal because we are starting to see a lot less longs in the market. Okay, so that's generally favorable for a slight pullback, but also unfavorable if you're in a long position. So just be mindful of that. It doesn't mean the price is just going to drop like a rock, but I do think that we should see the $90 to $92,000 range soon. And I'll explain more about that in a minute. We got our local point of control at about 93,500, or that's the open interest rather, roughly the same, with our also a point of control above the price at 95,300. So we got this little, $2,000 range between 93 and 95K where the price has been compressing. We're due to break out either up or down here in the relative near future because of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a quick look here at kind of the daily time frame, see what's going on. This hasn't changed too much, folks. We're going to be pretty bullish here in the overall sense. But if I recall correctly, before we were starting to see a stochastic swing, which is finally coming to fruition here, kind of letting us know that we've topped out, we've plateaued. We're going to need a lot of volume to get the price to go any higher from here. So just be mindful that we're in a position right now where the price should go a little bit lower, but at this point, it's hard to say specifically. Now, the reason why I say that is because we're right here at resistance at 70 on the RSI. Generally speaking, the price will cool off and calm down from there. So what we want to see is the price pull back here to this lower, 88.5 to 90K range and then bounce from there. But obviously, you don't always get what you want. And that's just me personally wanting to take a long in that range, not necessarily that I want to see the price action pull back. The only time I ever root for the price pulling back is if I want a better entry. But there's a lot of fair value below the price, significant fair value gap between 91.5 and roughly 88,500. Now the 4-hour time frame is going to tell us that we're starting to see some control in this area, but we're also right here at the local area. So what I mean by that here is we got our local point of control is 93.5, upper range roughly 95,000. We're kind of within that. So truth is, until we break free from the range above or below, we're going to be in a position where the price action will continue to kind of range until it doesn't. Okay, so there's a lot of selling pressure, a lot of buying pressure. Those are all things that kind of factor in. All that being said, we're still above the 20-day SMA, or at least back up above with this recent pump here from the Asian market. And then, of course, we take a look here at the 4-hour time frame. We're starting to run down here with our RSI. These are generally favorable signs. So when you see this here, when you see the RSI tapering off, essentially creating lower highs and lower lows, and then the price action establishing higher highs and higher lows, that does imply that we could see a breakout soon, okay? And that would be to the upside because the RSI is cooling off, we're starting to load at a higher price point, and likelihood of further upside could be greater. So just be mindful of that. This is a slight, bullish type of convergence there. We can also see stochastic swinging up and MACD trying to converge. So a majority of these are favorable signs on the 4-hour time frame. Hourly time frame is going to give us kind of some conflicting info here, whereas we got, basically just the Ichimoku cloud letting us know we're in the range, but we haven't broken free. But all in all, if we kind of look at everything abstractly here, so far the 4-hour time frame looks to be a little bit more bullish, and then of course the daily time frame still has its continuation. But from outside of the manipulation, I think there's a good chance we go higher. But here's that little manipulative channel I was referring to here, just to give you some perspective. We got the accumulation phase here, got the expansion phase. Or correction, this is a manipulation phase. And then of course there's expansion to the downside. So there's a good chance we do see one more leg down here. That's just my personal opinion. I hope I'm wrong and the price goes up personally, but that's roughly what we could see. I'll clean up the charts. Check that out on our Twitter, Telegram, or Discord. If you're not familiar, it'll all be available here for you. But the general consensus is that it's hard to trust Bitcoin right now. It's faked us out so many times in the past. I'll be honest, I'm a little gun shy about taking a long here into a resistance. That's just kind of me personally though. What are your thoughts? Let's hear it. I'd love to hear it. Comment below, like, subscribe, follow if you haven't yet already. Deeply appreciate those who are like super supportive of the channel. Really, you're super awesome. Thank you again. Keep on being awesome. We'll look forward to seeing you next one. Hope you have a good rest of your day. And thanks again for your time. Take care.